So I recently came across a video which talked about how to study effectively and how all of us have been sort of using the wrong techniques when we study. And I actually found it quite interesting and useful, and so today I'll go deeper into it. And so basically, the first thing mentioned was to actually study effectively, you have to slow down first. And I think, yeah, obviously it might sound a bit counterintuitive because if you want to study as quickly as possible, obviously you might think to dive right into it might be the best thing to do. However, you have to set a clear goal first, since without a purpose or without anything to achieve by the end of your study session, you're not going to really be you won't really see what you've achieved, and you won't really have learned much. Whereas if you have set a goal, then I guess it sort of motivates you to push towards that goal, and you'll firstly be able to track your progress towards completing that, and also saying that goal once you completed it also gives you a bit of a dopamine boost, so that you're more motivated to study for the next time. And so, yeah, setting goals can be really important, and yeah, without setting goals, you're sort of just wandering aimlessly and sort of pretending or convincing yourself you are effectively studying. And whereas, I mean, I guess saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to complete this essay or this presentation outline by 2 p.m." That sort of it makes you, I guess, have it more organized, as well as stopping yourself from procrastinating and sort of scrolling on your phone or playing games. Like, if you think about it, if you just told yourself you're going on a study session without any time limits, without any goals, without anything, it would be really easy to just go off and do another task. Whereas saying, "Oh yeah, I need to complete this by 2 p.m." is just sort of, yeah, it makes it a bit time pressurized, so you're going to study effectively, but it also makes it so that yeah, you're more motivated to actually complete the task. Second is to not rush, and so, like I said before, a lot of people rush and they end up not studying that well because they don't go over the topics or the materials as deeply. Whereas if you go over it, I guess, quite slowly and deeply, then I guess it'll stick with you more. So I guess you'll feel more in control, and you also feel like you're I guess you're actually remembering and taking up more information. So going through something quickly, maybe twice or three times, would actually be less effective than going through something deeply once and then maybe skimming through another time. So what I like to do is maybe have a quick skim through in the first time and then go over it deeply. So sort of don't really just skim. I mean, it's good to skim over at first because that is it sort of gives you a general outline and a general um, a view of, or a scope of what you're going to be doing. But if you just skim through like the whole time, then that's not as good because you're not really understanding the material. So thirdly, I wanted to talk about how you shouldn't like how I guess you shouldn't try to push everything into one day. And so, say you have an exam coming up, I guess grinding for like 9 hours in a single day isn't really going to help you. And I've actually like done this a lot of times before, where I've just ended up not studying for a test because either I've been procrastinating or I don't have enough time. And yeah, I've tried to like study 5 hours a night before, and maybe yeah, a lot more in the day as well. But I just ended up doing badly in the test because even though in that one day I might have studied as much as another person has for the test over like 10 days, um, it's still not really gonna help me because, one, I guess it'll tire me out, and two, it won't really stick with you. Whereas if you study maybe 30 minutes over a long period of time, so you have to understand the power of the compound effect, where, yeah, maybe 30 minutes a day will help you strengthen your memory because I guess because one, you're practicing spaced repetition, and two, yeah, you're stacking it up, and you sort of repeat over it a lot until you eventually memorize it. And so yeah, sort of pushing everything into one day is just really not helpful. And instead, just try, and even though, yeah, you might have not have that much time, just try and manage it. And like I said before, like with setting deadlines, try and set deadlines to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do 1 hour revision today, and then 30 minutes tomorrow, 40 minutes the day after. Sort of like knowing and organizing your time so that you find spaces um, to do the revision and sort of yeah, and it doesn't have to be too much in a single day. Just yeah, remember to space it out so that you are practicing spaced repetition and you are sort of building up your knowledge over a long period of time. Also, what's quite helpful is to sort of, for me, I find that when I'm studying, it's quite hard to, it's sort of, I guess it's quite boring if you keep studying in the same place, and so yeah, like if you were studying in your bed or the room, and you were studying there for like almost every single day, then obviously it's going to be quite boring, and you're going to, I guess you're going to lose some interest in the work just because of your surroundings and how used to it you are. So what I do is I sometimes switch. So I sometimes study in my room, in my bed, uh, maybe in maybe in someone else's room, maybe in the library, maybe in a cafe. But it's a sort of like anything, because sort of switching up is really helpful, because it sort of, it makes your brain sort of, I mean, yeah, it just makes your brain sort of, if it's less familiar with your surrounding, it won't really get it won't really get bored and it won't really get tired. Whereas if you stay in the same place like before, then it will sort of wear out your brain, and you will just sort of find it quite boring and lose interest, and then end up just doing something else. And so fifth, I want to talk about sort of, I guess, giving yourself treats after you have completed anything. So maybe yeah, after finishing a big chunk of work, you could maybe tell yourself that you're going out and buying yourself some snacks, or going out and buying yourself a maybe a cool gadget, or anything that you want really, because it sort of gives you the motivation to study, and like it also, well, I guess it also makes you feel good about yourself as well, which is really important for studying. Where if you don't really feel like you're in the mood for studying, you won't do well, and you won't. Um, I guess you'll just waste your time while thinking you're studying. Whereas if you're in a good mood, then that sort of information gets into your brain, and so yeah, it's quite important. And if you think about it, it's a bit like anything really, where without a purpose to do something, you won't really feel like you have the need to do it. So so maybe if you were just told to run a marathon on the spot, obviously you wouldn't really want to do it, and you wouldn't give your all, or you wouldn't give your best. However, if you were running a marathon for like the sake of your health and for the sake of sort of making your family proud and things like that, then sort of it gives you a sense of purpose, and you feel good about it once you completed the race, and you feel like you've actually achieved and helped something and somebody, and yeah, it just gives you that sense of purpose and that motivation to really push on. Next, and finally, I want to talk about sort of removing distractions. And it might seem quite easy, but I mean, it might seem quite simple, but yeah, it's really important, because a lot of the time, I just end up, even when I'm trying to study, I just end up either just after 10 minutes of scrolling, or after 10 minutes doing something else completely. And so yeah, you just have to really find some ways to get around that. And so so I'm sure there's also been lots of times where, say, you're trying to study and your phone's in your room. Suddenly you need to look up a word, and after looking up a word, you just end up scrolling. Or say you need to go to the bathroom, and on the way you meet someone and just end up talking instead of going back to your work. And it's happened to me so many times where I just lost so much time just because of those things. And so sort of stating clearly when you're about to get up or when you're about to leave your task, state clearly what you're going to leave for and for how long, and it sort of reaffirms yourself, and you will be able to, I guess it also adds a sense of confirmation, and it sort of, I guess, you will be more you will be more likely to actually follow what you've just said. And also, like, try getting people, like, try to remove, not also trying to remove distractions from you, distracting yourself, but also from other people distracting you. So what I like to do is sometimes when I'm studying, I like to sort of have a small note. Maybe if I'm studying in my room, I like to have a small note outside my door so that people can't really come in and sort of get me out of my zone for whatever I'm doing. Um, I mean, I'm sure like if you're like deeply into work, you'd find it quite annoying if someone came into your room and just ended up trying to talk to you about something else completely. And so it would sort of ruin your mood as well, so you won't be able to study as efficiently when they leave. And so yeah, a person that really helps to stop people disrupting sort of your zone, I guess. And also like try to remove your phone, like put it in a different room completely. Or there's this I mean, there's lots of apps where you can sort of turn your phone into like silence all notifications and turn your phone into sort of a brick phone. And yeah, we use a app in school called Brick, where there's like a key which is quite far away, and you have to walk a long way to unlock it. And so a lot of people like you wouldn't want to just walk up, walk maybe for a minute or two just to unlock your phone while you're studying. So it sort of keeps you in the zone and stops you from getting distracted with your phone. And yeah, I think the most important points to take away from this are that firstly, um, you have to avoid rushing and you have to sort of set a clear goal beforehand. And even when you're studying, you don't just dive into it and like pressure, like I guess like tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to complete the whole syllabus in 30 minutes, because obviously that's not going to work, and it's actually just going to push you back because you're going to feel like you're going to feel, I guess, bad with yourself that that you haven't done whatever big goal you've set. And so yeah, small goals and sort of like going slowly as well, like don't rush, just go slowly because it will sort of stick with you more. And also studying a little bit every single day, and also trying to remove distractions, and sort of giving yourself treats and rewards for milestones in your studying can really help as well. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.